Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Joseph, and Joseph Kang. I'm a volunteer for Psychebabble Foundation. Right. So, welcome to today's episode of Topic of the Month. Last month we talked about suicide and suicide ideation, and this month we're going to be talking about trauma in Nigeria. Okay, and I'll be your host for today. And we'll be having a guest, a psychologist, today to talk about trauma in Nigeria. We'll be having Aultima Peters. If you have questions, if there are things you want to know, we're going to have like a live discussion. So let's make it as fun as possible. I want everyone to try and be engaging, ask questions. If you have questions on trauma, feel free to use the comment box. Okay, so quickly, I would like us to talk a little bit about trauma before we have Aultima. I'm going to add her soon to the video so that she joins us live. So, trauma is a case or a mental health stuff that has been over the years. It flies over our heads for a lot of times, a lot of periods. People just threw with the word trauma, PTSD, ASD, and a host of other disorders as well. So today we'll be talking about all of that. We'll be clarifying all of that, all we need to know, all we need to talk on. If you have, like I said before earlier, if you have questions, we're going to tackle them here. This is the best place to be, and I hope we all have a lovely session. It shouldn't take up to an hour or more. Alright, so Sandy just joined us. Hi, Sandy. apdiscovery. Hello. Please help us share the link to your friends on WhatsApp, on IG, on all your pages, so we can have more people on here join us. It's going to be a wonderful time, I can tell. Hey, Oluwatosindel. Good evening. How are you today? Okay, so I just want a lot of people to join us. So just give us a few minutes and we'll start. I want everyone to be a part of this discussion. Hi, Oluwatobi. I'm very, very well. I hope you're with the pen and the paper because we want to talk about a lot of stuff today. And I hope you'll be online and with us till the end of our discussion on trauma. Okay, so Le Padre just joined us. All right, so I'm going to have our topic for today pinned in so that we can all see it. Trauma in Nigeria. Trauma in Nigeria. Okay, so Aultima is already here. Please request to join the video. Request to join us, Aultima, so we can have you. All right. Okay. Hi, Ultima. Can you hear me? Okay, I'm sending out an invite. So we'll have her join us and then we can start in earnest. So I would like a couple of us that are online to like briefly tell us what we know about trauma. Oh, okay. Ultima is here. Hi, Ultima. Good evening. Hi,
Good
I'm
evening.
Joseph. I'm Joseph. You can call me Josie. Everyone calls me Josie.
Oh, hi, Joseph.
Well,
How are you?
uh, I'm very good, very well, thank you. Welcome to Psychebabble Foundation. Welcome to our live. Welcome to our talk. You can see Sandra is already pumped. She can't wait for us to talk. All right, so would like to start. I would like Ultima to tell us about herself. She's a practicing psychologist, right? So please introduce yourself. Let everyone know you.
Um, Good evening once again, everyone. Hi, Joseph. Nice meeting you in person. Like, would I say online rather? Okay, my name
Okay.
is Aultima Peters-Kelechukwu, and I'm a psychologist. Um, actually consulting with helping hand solutions, and I'm also a therapist. I help people to go through psychological emotional stress and mental issues, helping them to, rediscover who they are. Thank you.
Okay. That's good. That's good. So you're practicing here in Nigeria.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, that's great. So, some of our guys are saying we're having issues hearing you clearly. It comes and goes. So, please check your mic. Check that your mic is working perfectly, so that we can hear everything you're saying.
Okay, am I audible now? Can you hear me?
Better, better. You sound like you're beside me. All right. So, if we
All
heard
right.
you correctly, you said that you're a therapist in Nigeria. This is where you practice, and this is where you help people, right? That's wonderful. So, how long
Yeah.
have you been a psychologist? How long? When did this journey start for you?
Actually, for about 3 years there, about though I finished school for almost 7 years right now, but I've been practicing for 2 years now.
Okay, okay. All right, that's wonderful. That's 7 years. Wow. Wow. Okay. So you've been changing people's lives for 7 years. That's amazing. All right. So we're just going to go straight to I want us to dissect trauma as a whole. There are a host of like mental health talks that we're actually supposed to have, especially in Nigeria, that we do not really talk about a lot. Suicide, and thank God for Psychebabble. We've been doing this for every month, where we pick a topic of the month and we discuss it, dissect it, and have everyone learn about it. So we always try to talk about mental health and everything that concerns it as well. So I'm blabbering a lot, sorry. So let's talk about trauma. I'll just go ahead to like what I know about trauma personally, for myself. So I just feel trauma is like something that's actually very deeply disturbing, an event that something happened to you and for some reason you can't let go and it's always haunting you. So that's the idea of trauma in my head. I don't know if that's like the true idea. I want you to like let us know.
Um, trauma is a huge word.
Okay.
It can't easily be dissected. Yeah,
Oh
and
wow.
each one and every one of us in life has actually come in contact with trauma in one way or the other. We've experienced this, and we can say that trauma is a distressing experience. You understand? It's kind of a disturbing experience experience that comes like emotional response, maybe with a trembling event, it might be caused by an accident, rape, natural disasters like maybe fire outbreak, um, physical symptoms like maybe a broken relationship, something that just suddenly comes up and it takes you unaware. You understand? So all that can be put into the word trauma. You understand? And
Okay.
all this event comes up once in a while because sometimes there are events, sometimes even a song that are relating to this. And once you listen to this song or you come in contact with this event and it plays back this
Yeah,
experience and
like a trigger.
before you tell it that trauma you get
Yeah.
because
Okay.
you're current. So you just what yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much for actually you mentioned that it's not easily dissected, and you've gone as far as like telling us, speaking about like how it can be triggered through probably a song, and events that probably just happened right now, and you can just relate it, and it all comes back. So I would actually like to know, like, what like what part of like your brain is like responsible for all of that? Because I feel it's a whole lot looking at the human body, and uh once it hits you, because I know definitely I've experienced something like that. So in my experience, once it hits you, it feels like you're there again. The whole thing is playing. Your body feels the same way you felt when the event first happened. How does that happen? Like, I need to know.
Well, like I said, trauma cannot easily be dissected. And if you're talking about the part of the brain,
Okay.
and well, I would say that trauma mostly it happens with your cortical cortex, you get, and in our heart, in our mind, because sometimes we don't actually get to keep these events yet in our
Okay.
brains or upstairs. There are these events that are so dear to us, we keep it in our heart and in our minds, and something just triggers. There must be something that has to trigger it. Some of us are so good that we tend to like, okay, we wave off events.
Yeah.
When you wave off this event, there must be something that has related, you understand, something that actually gets to you in one way or the other. Maybe something that is in your heart or in your brain, like just kind of brings it up.
Okay.
Once it comes up again, you find that you're not able to like get away with this thing. You understand? So
Yeah.
it's something that just happens naturally because it has to do with your emotion. It has to do with your mindset,
Okay.
and how touching that can be. You get. So if such a thing is not actually kind of dear to you, if such an event is not something that is important to you, there is no way you can actually reoccur, like remember.
Yeah.
You get.
Oh, okay.
So
There has to be
it's not
something.
something that you say you have to know how it happened.
Okay. Okay. Please, we're still having complaints about like your audio. I think it's your AirPods. If you can try and use your phone speaker,
Maybe
I think it
my
will give us.
network.
Yeah. Okay. I think it will give us a better audio experience.
Just give me a minute.
All right. Are we better now? Can you hear me
Oh
better?
my God. This
Am
is
I audible?
so much better. Yes. So much better.
Okay, fine. Fine.
All right. So you made mention of um, how it's something. It has to be something that is dear to you, right? Something that you remember, because it's not all the events. It doesn't
Yeah.
happen every time, and I think I understand that and I get that. Okay. So down to my next question. My next question is, please, for everyone that is on the live, please, you can, the comment section is open. You can type in your questions. You can ask anything you'd like to know so that we discuss together. All right, so to my next question, is there a cure? is there a cure? Can we, just like medication, or just like how do we handle it? How do we tackle it? Is there something we'd have to like take to like let it go totally?
Well, trauma takes a little time depending on the individual. You get it takes sometimes it takes a couple of 6 months to heal. It takes a longer time depending on the kind of events that happened and the individual involved. Sometimes you might say trauma is curable, but if the individual is not when I say mature enough to handle these things, even after therapy and meeting a professional personality, the person might actually fall back. For clinical psychologists, when you go, there's what we call trauma can be dissected in different ways. It can come in different angles. It can come in the way of depression, anxiety, even post-traumatic stress disorders. And all these disorders are categorized under mental health. Now, as a psychologist, all these disorders are actually diagnosed through the DSM-5. Yes, with a manual, DSM-5 manual, which when you see a psychologist or a therapist, they go through a process of diagnosing all every trauma, or to know the kind of stage, the category this trauma have gone, and there your drugs can be administered to you, or your therapy sessions can comment. Now, we can't say trauma can be healed totally. Some might say
Okay.
it might be healed, but it can't be healed totally, because definitely you will get to a point where you meet these experiences, you get to meet something that will trigger it. Now, I think it's a matter of, or let's say it's a question of how mature are you to contain these things, even after therapy. How mature are you to, after being diagnosed, you're able to go through life and understand life in your own way, and to be able to, take in this shock whenever it comes, even after therapy. I might have a traumatic experience, but mine is not really in depth as maybe yours. So I might
Okay.
come for a therapy session, and I go through my sessions and my diagnosis, and I use the word I'm healed. But that
Okay.
event is not so deep that you say I'm okay. I might come in contact with that event, and maybe mine is kind of a mild kind of trauma, and I go through it without no stress, even after my therapy. But there's somebody that might have a deeper trauma experience that, even with the therapy, it seems he or she is kind of okay. But when that hits hard again, the person might go off track if he or she is not balanced or strong enough.
Okay, I'm sure you've seen the question, right? All right. Sandy said, you mentioned
Yeah.
maturity. Maturity. How do you mean? What do you mean by maturity?
Okay, maybe that word maturity was too big, but what I actually meant by maturity, maybe when the person has gone to a particular level of, healing.
Okay. Would you say
You get.
healing or self-awareness?
Mm, self-awareness can be part of it, but I still call it healing.
Okay.
Because you might be trauma, trauma, like I said in the beginning, trauma is a very large word, and it can't be overly dissected, like, because if I say self-awareness, I might be aware, like I might have self-awareness, and when I get out there I see something that triggers this trauma, and I might just lose it,
Okay. Sandy said,
even
I
if I'm
think
self-aware
because
that
it's
this
my
is trauma,
age.
like this is trauma, this is trauma. I know that, and I'm aware that this is trauma. It's coming back, and I'm feeling the symptoms. I'm feeling what it is I've felt before, and you know I might just lose it if I'm not able to understand what I'm going through, because for you to understand of healing,
Yeah. Okay, so we lost you for a few seconds there. But to bring you back to track,
Okay.
you were talking about how, okay, Sandy asked a question about what maturity means, and you mentioned like how um your healing process and how deep you've gone and how you've healed so far based on like the therapy and the stuff you're taking or the medications or after your diagnosis, that is. There are actually a lot of questions from Sandra that is coming, but please, before we open up our questions, I'd like to go to my next question so that I don't forget. What are the symptoms,
Okay.
right? What are the symptoms? And remember, we're talking about like
Okay.
trauma in Nigeria. So I think moving forward, I would like us to relate it to us here, like Nigerians as a whole. That's what I'm most interested in because me, I'm here. Oh, I've not gone yet. I'm very sure you are here as well. All the people that are alive, most likely
Mhm.
80% of them are here. So, what has affected us that probably we've let sleep and we don't know about it. But please, my main question
Okay.
is and was, what are the symptoms? Like, what are the symptoms of trauma? How can we tell?
Okay. Symptoms of trauma. We can say number one symptom you can actually tell that you're actually having trauma is confusion. Difficulty concentrating. You tend to
Okay.
have fear, not knowing what to do. You have anxiety. This feeling of hopelessness, feeling disconnected from what you love to do, in a kind of shock, disbelief. These are all symptoms that you get to, and these symptoms, when they come, you don't actually know how to go over them. You understand? You feel as if something is actually happening to you. They come regularly. You get when that is when you think of these events, you find out that God. For example, myself, there was time I had this accident that till now I can tell myself that I'm actually going through trauma. I came out from that accident and I heard that that vehicle actually somersaulted 3 times. And whenever I'm in the car, my friends always tell me, "Why are you?" I'm always like, the shock is always there.
Yeah.
So, confusion, anger, irritability, mood swing. You might be in a happy mood with a person, and all of a sudden you get to remember that,
Just
and
changes.
your mood gets to
Okay.
change. Yes,
Okay.
and some
Okay.
withdrawal from others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've mentioned like a lot of symptoms, and giving us an example actually helped to understand like the symptoms to expect if someone is in trauma. And Sandra just said, I think everyone's trauma should be acknowledged. It doesn't really matter whether deep or small. However, we must remember that with traumatic experiences, it's a continual journey. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
sure, sure,
Yeah, I
sure.
think I do too. Just like it's like I think it's the same way with the mental health. Everything that is wrong with mental health, right? Like any
Yeah.
mental health issue, the first step is always to acknowledge it, and then the rest follows. So acknowledgement is actually very, very important. Yes. So I'm not. I'm going to
Yeah.
wait. I have like 4 questions lined up, plus Sandra's two. That's about six. But I'm going to wait. There's an actual one very, very important one. Please, as a Nigerian that I am and that you are, in which way and what ways do you know that we have been traumatized? Because I know. Let's not laugh about it. This
Ah,
one is very, very
I
important.
was, as a Nigerian, I must tell you that, for example, starting from myself,
Okay.
when you are helpless and confused, that's number
Okay.
one sign to know that you are really, really traumatized. When you're in a situation where you can't do anything, and you say this thing is killing you, man, and you're still helpless.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Okay.
talking about.
I
You
I
understand?
I will not do as if I did not know. I know. So I once had a conversation with a friend recently that left the country, stayed in the US for about 2 years and came back, and then she was walking me through how she got to adapt back to the system when she came back. Right, that it was to the first 1 month for her was actually really terrible. She would step out on the streets and just look at everywhere and would just shake her head and like I can't imagine this is going on. Even down to her accent, right? So when she first came, she was always the accent, oh, get out of here and all that stuff. What she explained to me was she gave herself 2 weeks and 2 weeks everything changed back to normal. So when she was telling me the story, I could like hear the trauma scream out of her experience, and that she was really really suffering from okay, I've had it good and all of a sudden it's bad and it's my reality now and it's really really terrible. um I'm sorry if you stay in Lagos. I'm going to drag Lagos people. Don't be annoyed. Any Lagos person that is on this live, I'm very sorry. I'm going to drag you. So, I feel every Lagos person is traumatized. What is your 2 cents before I lay my case? What do you think? Every person that stays in Lagos is traumatized.
Ah,
Discuss.
I would say everything about Lagos is traumatizing. I don't know
Oh,
if
okay.
people will agree with me. Starting from starting from the traffic,
Oh, okay.
the kind of people there. Oh, I don't know. If you ask me, I would say the population of what we term as Agberos are higher than even
The
the
normal.
normal people because man, it yes, it seems when you once you just do like this, someone is already shouting. When you do like this person is already screaming, and I
Okay.
feel it's just the harsh condition of Lagos. You
I think
get
you're doing the job for
so.
me already. You're doing the job for me because um I always attack Lagos people. They go to other places that is calm and you hear them say, "Oh, people here are so laid back, they are so unserious. They want to wake up in the morning by 4 a.m. and start going out." Why, my dear? You have lived in an environment that has killed you. I mean, you can wake up by 6 and get
I'm
to work
telling you,
before 7:30. But since you don't want to change the environment, you say no, it's Lagos that you want.
I feel people in Lagos now see life as being abnormal. So the normal seems like something that is not right to them.
Wow.
So,
Yeah,
and that for me, I tell them that these people are not really their mental health has been tampered with seriously because most of them when they come into a city where it's calm, like you said, that is calm, that like you said, they feel something is missing and they'll be like, oh, I need to go back to Lagos. What's
thank you,
happening? This
thank
city is
you.
so dry.
That it is.
They,
That is the one.
they
They
actually
need to
use
go
that
back
word.
to suffering.
This town is so dry.
Yes.
So I really can't tell what they enjoy by waking up early, going through the hurdles and the whole screamings and the whole traffic. The traffic is not justified. No, 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 I
Okay.
can't even talk about
Ultima,
that.
do you stay in Lagos?
No, I don't. I just visit sometimes.
Why were you thinking about it for a second there? You were thinking about it.
I actually went there for a program. Yes, and
Okay.
it's so heartbreaking that one of the programs that are coming up, a conference that is coming up this August, it will be held in Lagos. And I'm actually thinking, I've started preparing my mindset on how to go over to Lagos for this conference. You
Okay.
understand? So,
I
yeah.
understand. I totally get you. Now, for two people that are actually not staying in Lagos, I feel like everyone else in the comment section that are actually staying in Lagos are going to hit us after this. So let's help them out, right? How do people, how do like, how do we help? Like, how do people in Lagos, how do like they cope with it? What do you suggest? What do you suggest they do? what are the ways they can cope with it? Because to be very honest, there are people that are literally running mad that are in that city, but because of they've gotten used to the hustle and bustle, and they they don't want to let go. It's now it's life for them. They feel that's the norm. So for people that are actually very aware of these things, of how the traffic, the people, the ghetto, every rasness, and the negative effects of all of those things, how do they cope with that? How do they survive?
Are you asking me how I should kind of
Yes,
say
yes.
how they will
How
cope?
do
Or
our brothers and
okay,
sisters in Lagos cope?
okay, maybe I should tell you how. I don't understand the question. Sorry.
Okay, okay. So I said since we're not in Lagos presently, right? But I actually do care for a lot
Okay.
of my friends and people that are in Lagos, and I see these negative trends and the effects of what they are experiencing. So how do they cope with that? Like, what are the solutions and the ways you feel someone that stays in Lagos, what the person needs to do so that they don't get um
Okay.
you get.
Okay. Okay. First of all, I must say that the situation in Lagos is something else, and I don't think the government can change it. I don't even think any human being can change it. And even if they want to change all those situations of the hustle and bustle and the traffic and everything, I don't think they can change it. It's even if they have to change, it's going to take a little while to change it. But I'm going to mention some things that could help them cope with such a situation and in such an environment. First
Okay.
of all, I would say people in Lagos should try to face their feelings.
Okay.
In the sense, you should be aware of your feelings. If you're feeling tired, I don't know how it's going to go, but if you're feeling tired and you need to, because every day waking up, going to work, staying in the traffic, and you feel you have to like rest, give yourself this rest. I don't know how you want to do it, but pay attention to your feelings.
Okay. Number
It
one,
goes
yes.
a long way.
Pay attention to feelings.
Yeah.
I'm
And
serious
number
about
two,
writing this note. I'll send all of them my email.
and
Please go
number
ahead.
two, lean on your loved one. Lean on your loved ones. Yeah, this the whole situation might be, brain draining and everything, but lean on your loved ones, call them, talk to them. When you discuss one on one with someone you love about what you're going through, it can actually help to ease the situation. In fact, they will even yab you on it and tell you, look at you, like you all Lagos now, that type of stuff. So you
Yes.
guys just ease off and they help you
So
laugh, they help you get
yeah,
over
so
the
so basically
situation.
have a support system, yeah?
Of course, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it goes a long way. And sometimes even when you're not able to meet up, this support system can actually help you go through some things even without you knowing, either consciously or subconsciously. Again. And so I want to say which they should try and prioritize self-care. Self-care like eating good meals, when they have time to sleep, sleep well. When you have time to hang out, hang out. When you have a little time to read, read. You have little time to go on vacations, go on vacations. That's what we call prioritizing self-care. And lastly, I just want to say be patient until when our government can do anything about the situation.
Number five, be patient. Okay, I have that down. Okay, so I'm going to send this to Sandra. She's in there somewhere in the comment section. All these five things. I would like to add one more, please. Permit me. Number six, run.
Okay.
Run away. Go to other cities.
What if they don't have anywhere to run to? What would you do? What would they
They
do?
can work remotely, please. Let's not be suffering ourselves in this country. Okay, okay. So
Okay.
I think we've attacked Lagosians enough. So Sandra had has a question back to like trauma in Nigeria. She said, can a relationship breakup count as trauma, and how do I cope with it?
Wow.
Yes, wow.
100% yes. A relationship breakup can cause trauma. Yeah, we've heard of a suicide cases where people just take poison. Oh, this boy left me, this girl left me. I want us to understand that before it got to that suicidal case or that suicidal thought pattern, the person must have gone through traumatizing
Yeah.
moments. Yes, because this thing called love, it could be so dangerous when it's in depth, when it's deep. You understand? Especially
Yeah.
when you love this person, you just have this feeling that nothing can go wrong. You know when you've made up your mind, and all of a sudden from the blues, someone just
Yeah,
comes up and
something
says,
happened.
"I'm no longer interested," and something just happens. You
They
understand?
serve you
You know, it's
breakfast.
even better.
They call it breakfast now. Have you heard?
Exactly, they serve you breakfast.
They call it breakfast. I don't
So
know who
you know
came up with
it's
that.
so you know that's a shock. That's number one shock. There are two different things with somebody saying, coming up to you. For example, we're dating and I come up to you and say, Josie, I'm sorry, but you need to give me time. I don't like this. I don't like what you're doing. I don't like this. And and it's another thing to say, Josie, I am done. I don't want to have anything to do with you. Those are
Okay.
two different things. Now, yes, 100% yes. A relationship breakup could cause trauma depending on the individual in that relationship. Now,
Yeah.
once you find yourself in this kind of situation, what you can do about this whole thing is, take a vacation.
Okay.
It
So
could
you're
help.
you're you're talking about coping skills now, right? How to cope. The second question.
Coping
Go
with
ahead,
certain
please.
situations.
Yes.
Yes, take a vacation. You understand?
Mm.
Because it could help. Why I said it could help is some people take vacations and they go over there,
And
keep
go
thinking about this individual, and they keep thinking, yeah, still think, but it's a 50-50 something because if you go over there thinking of somebody, there are chances that you might actually get to meet new friends, get to meet
yeah.
somebody new.
New
But
environment.
I'm not advising that when you break up, you go somewhere else and you see somebody and you just jump into the relationship. Give yourself time to heal.
Okay.
Because if you are not careful, you might actually get what happened to you previously might happen to you again because you're still in the know of what happened. You're still traumatized. So
Yeah.
you jumping into something else won't be good. What you just
It
need
doesn't
is
help.
something that will help you heal through. What you just need is something that will help you heal through the process. So one of it is vacation. Secondly, pay attention to yourself. Sometimes, mostly when we have this shock in relationships that causes us to get traumatized, is that we've given all ourselves to this person. Everything we have to this person. Hey, babe, how are you? You just feel the world cannot just end anytime with this person. This person is 247 with me. So once it comes like this, the
Oh,
shock just, scatters the person. So
this is
pay
amazing
attention more to
advice.
yourself. If such a thing should happen, just know that it's time for you to pay more attention to yourself.
Okay.
Engage in what
So
you love doing. Go back to the things you love to do before you met this individual. These are coping skills that could help
mechanisms.
you to go through.
Okay. You have
Yeah.
answered the question, and I'm very, very satisfied. Now I think I have what it takes to take breakfast. That doesn't mean anybody should serve me anyway. Yes. So Oluwatosin said she had a panic attack in Lagos traffic and she ran for her life.
Where did you
Okay.
run to?
Please, Oluwatosin, if you can hear me, please tell us where you ran to. So probably we can advise our Lagosians to run there as well. Show them the way. God bless you as you comply. Right. Okay. Down to our next question. How do Nigerians process? Do you think, in your own like opinion, do you think Nigerians process trauma differently? Like, do you think we can handle trauma and we tackle it differently from any other people in this world?
Nigerians and trauma. I must say it's kind of difficult. Nigerians. I don't know where to start from.
Okay, please.
I
1 minute.
don't know where to start from.
Oluwatosindel said she left the country totally. Wow. I would like to be you.
Yeah.
Wow. Please, I can fit in your
What
box
about us?
next
I
time
don't
you're
have
coming
people
for.
that don't have what it takes to go.
I'm telling you, please. Olua, please find a way, come for vacation, then bring an eco lag bag. I'm just 6 feet. I can fit inside, right? You know how we do it. I'll be in your DM soon. Please, I want to join up, please. Okay, so sorry, please go back to the question. How Nigerians tackle trauma.
There are different individuals in Nigeria.
Okay.
We have the literate ones, we have the illiterate, we have the good, we have the bad.
We have the ugly.
Man, what we should be asking ourselves is, do Nigerians even believe there's anything called trauma? Most
Yes.
times they don't even believe psychologists are let's say they say we cure mad people. You get. So the question is, do they believe there's anything called trauma? What Nigerians believe is na life we'll go through this and go better. That type of thing. Even when you're preaching trauma to them, they be like, forget that thing, leave that thing. It's not going to do anything. When it don't come, it don't come. You understand that type of language? Like, I sometimes they find it difficult to understand that there is something called trauma, and this thing is actually disturbing you. Sometimes they have this friend that's always telling them, this thing is disturbing you, give it a break, you know, forget about this thing. And they said, no, 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 no. So they would like, we'll fight it out. There are different ways to trauma. In trauma, like we have different types of trauma. We have the acute trauma, we have the chronic, we have the complex trauma. So, and all this play out in Nigeria in one way or the other. Fine, coming down to the literate ones, yes, some of them believe that there is trauma. You get that there's something called trauma, and once you kind of, talk to them, get to know them and advise them, they take it. But those that don't want to understand, they can go any length to solve any problem. They can go any length to scatter anything. They can go any length to make sure that problem is solved, thereby causing more trauma to themselves.
Okay. Yes,
Get.
you did not lie.
So,
You have said everything. You have actually said everything because I feel I'm also guilty. When you were like talking about it, I was just telling myself this thing I should say, and I'm guilty as well. So we always have a way of saying, it's live, we'll handle it. I mean, I don't think there are a group of people that takes things like serious things so well like Nigerians. I don't know how God made us. Our own is different. It's always like there is another level to our suffering, and we'll complain when the suffering starts. Then 2 hours later, we are okay, we will do all right, and we keep it moving. And
yeah.
even though it's like a good thing because it builds up our resilience, but we also forget about the mental aspect
uh,
of it, like
it,
the
it
cons as
builds our
well.
resilience
Yes, yeah,
it
but we
builds
also
our
forget.
resilience somehow, but not okay.
Okay, so that
Yeah.
will take me to my next question. But before that, Sandra said she thinks Nigerians believe that there is trauma, but we just feel like it's not that deep. Wow. Okay, that's true.
No.
Um,
People believe that there's nothing called trauma. I don't think, not all Nigerians, not All Nigerians, because you see somebody will be crying over, maybe for example, let's just say a relationship right now. You see a girl crying, oh God, he left me. You say, babe, you're traumatized. Look at you, look at what you're doing to yourself. And she said, it's not true. I'm okay. I'm fine. She doesn't want to even know if there's anything called
Yes.
trauma. All she knows at that point is that her feelings. She just wants it solved.
Yeah.
And that's
Okay.
why most times in Nigeria now, if we were to we should be careful on how we fight outside or how we do things or even push people, because people are traumatized. It has gotten to them that it has eaten so deep that they don't even know it. You get, because once you
Yeah.
tend to have issue with somebody outside and you push them, the person just
Yeah.
gets to
It
fall
triggers
down,
something.
and the next thing they're rushing the person to the hospital. Can you imagine? And the next thing you hear, that person is dead. Maybe this person has been suffering from a trauma for a very long time, and but he or she feels this is not important. You understand? They don't. I don't think they
Yeah.
understand the word trauma. I think anybody that has a little fracas or any little issue, we just calm him or herself down and look for the nearest route on how to solve his or her problem. But we don't get to appreciate that. Just few of us in Nigeria.
Okay. So this also like goes in line with I think what Psychebabble always tries to, or what Psychebabble is trying to correct in Nigeria as a whole, and a host of other mental health organizations that I've seen. We like just like every other mental health disorder, like every other mental illness, we believe we could do all right. We'll take it. When something happens to someone and the person is supposed to like lean back and rest and take some time off for themselves to heal and process the thoughts. We do not, especially as Nigerians and as Africans generally, we do not. We just keep on going. We don't take enough time to rest. So uh, we have talked about the problems. We've talked about how Nigerians process trauma. We've talked about the things that we are doing wrong currently. So to correct that, what do you think that we should do right? What do you think?
Okay. What at least pay attention. We should try to pay attention to our emotions and the level
Okay.
at which it's going. It will really help us. Yes, we should be willing to, and once these things are happening, we should be willing to heal. We should be willing to listen to somebody. You understand?
Okay.
You don't, for example, get mental health professionals, psychologists, therapists, talk to them. If you feel you don't trust people to tell them what is wrong with you, because Nigeria now, when you tell somebody, I'm having some kind of problem, the next thing they'll tell you you're mad, you have a mental issue. So we should try to seek assistance from trained professionals. We should incorporate movement. Do what you love more. Movement, be active. Tend to do what you love to do more. Like me, I love music. Sometimes when I feel as if I'm actually strained, or maybe I'm traumatized with a particular incident that happened to me before, once I listen to my music, I'm okay. Like I'm actually good. And one other thing I would advise is journaling. You understand? Try to write some things down. You get, if you such thoughts come to you, try to pin one or two things down. Write about something you love. You get, read a book. It will actually help. And try to accept support from loved ones. They are not mocking you, nothing is happening to you. If you feel they are mocking you, then look for a professional. It really go a long way
Okay, yes. So
in helping this situation.
talking about professionals. So Psychebabble is like you can get free mental health counseling on Psychebabble. All you need to do is just click on any of our profiles. You see to take you to a link, fill it up, and there are always counselors that are open to like speak with you. So we can be your support group. We can be your support system. We always encourage people to speak up when you're going through stuff, something you cannot talk about with anyone. Always feel free to. There's Psychebabble, there are support systems everywhere. Build a support system for yourself. Now, I could not help but like realize that um, when you were talking about how what like the solutions of how Nigerians can cope with trauma, it's like it went in line with everything you said with things like the Lagosians can do as well. Lean on your loved ones, prioritize self-care, be patient, um, pay attention to your feelings, and rest. Very, very important. And also speak up. I would like to add that speak up is very, very important. Talk about it. We are emotional beings, so it's always good to just talk. It releases. You mentioned journaling. You mentioned journaling. I feel like that's the one that works best for me. I always go back to an experience of mine where I felt clogged up in my head, and I just picked up a piece of paper and I started writing everything I was thinking, and it was like a miracle. At the end of writing everything, I felt so lightheaded, and it was amazing to do. So, for anyone listening to this, you can try that as well and speak up as well. So, let's move to our next question. When you were talking about, I forgot what you were talking about actually. You mentioned that there are types of trauma. I would like you to like dig deep into that, like the different types, so that at least people listening to this and I as well can identify them when we see them.
Okay. Actually, we have about three types of trauma.
Okay.
We have the acute trauma, we have the chronic trauma, and we have the complex trauma.
Okay. Did you say
Now, for
acute?
the acute trauma, yeah, acute.
Okay.
Now, from the acute trauma, these are they result from single accidents, maybe fire outbreak, maybe you broke your leg, or you spoiled something, maybe your phone broke down and you love this phone so much. Just single accidents that could happen around you. Those are just
Yeah.
acute. Maybe you break your leg, you have to maybe lose maybe just injury, like injury, you understand, maybe from single
Yeah.
single accident, little minor accident. Then for the trauma, for the chronic trauma, these are prolonged traumatizing experiences such as domestic violence. It keeps reoccurring, and when it reoccurs, it keeps playing back. It's prolonged and it's being repeated. For example, a man beating up his wife every day, maybe, or somebody using hurtful words on you. These are chronic traumas. It can be
Okay.
categorized as
So
bullying also.
So, so,
You understand?
sorry. So the difference between the acute and like the chronic, well, what makes chronic is the fact that it's reoccurring, like it does happen over a period of time.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, please
Yes,
go on.
yes. Okay. So, and the last one, which is the complex. You understand? The complex one can be termed as having exposed to different and multiple traumatized events. Maybe you lost your
Okay,
mom, you now lost your dad, you lost your sister in an accident, and you have somebody beating you at home. So many complex. You don't even know what actually is causing your trauma experience. That's what we call the complex type, when it has to do with multiple traumatic events.
okay, okay. So
Yeah.
I
Then
feel like
I want to
go ahead, please go ahead.
okay, I wanted to add to the coping mechanisms
Yeah.
which people can inculcate when they're having trauma. There's this thing
Okay.
called
Yes.
what they call it, meditation or mindfulness. It
Okay.
really helps. Sometimes just take yourself to a natural setting, pay attention to your soul, your mind. It actually helps. Meditate, even get a song, meditate on the words, meditate on any book, meditate on your body, your soul, and everything, and you actually get better.
Okay. So quickly, let me write that down. Meditation. So what I wanted to call your attention earlier was you said there are three types of trauma: acute, chronic, and complex. Now it felt like there is this word we use when we're saying big, bigger, biggest. I've forgotten it. It felt that way. So from the small, like from the big to the bigger to the biggest. It felt like acute is small, chronic is like in between, and complex is when everything, spoils, like everything has. Ha. Okay, so just to get
So
you,
many things.
that's correct, right? Yeah, okay. So I have always wanted to ask, where does PTSD come into all of this? Where does PTSD come into all of this? Because you hear people throw the word post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, I have PTSD, this one, that one. Please explain, shed more light.
Okay, PTSD actually is a mental health issue, and when it comes into trauma play is when you have outgrown this, maybe you've gone through the levels of these trauma experiences, you've actually had them, but these things keep reoccurring in your memory or in your brain, or you have events that are associated with these traumatic events. When maybe, for example, let me use, I love songs so much, so that's why I use songs, music.
Yeah.
So maybe, for example, when you had an accident, you had a song playing, Celine Dion, I will always love you. And anytime you come in contact with that song, you just remember the accident you had. That is like a post-traumatic kind of, so a post after traumatic event. You understand? And after event, that means you're kind of reoccurring, those events reoccurring freshly, as if it were yesterday that it just
Mm,
happened to you. So those are what we
okay.
call post-traumatic stress
Okay. So
disorders.
so it actually brings
And
us
once
back
you
to,
remember them, you get the stress.
yeah. Okay. What I wanted to say is actually bring us
I
back
was
to
trying
what we
to
were
say that
saying
once
in the beginning, where you mentioned or I mentioned about the stuff reoccurring. So the reoccurrence and making it feel like you're passing through that same event again is what PTSD means. Sorry to cut you short.
yeah, it makes you feel as if you're actually passing through these things again, and the sight and memory, everything comes fresh on you, thereby causing you this stress, and the whole thing just gets done as if you're actually passing through these things again, thereby making you, having mood swings and anxiety and fear and everything. This whole if symptoms you pass through the other time, everything still comes back to
Yeah.
you as if you just experience it in the, so that's where it
Oh,
comes into play.
oh, okay. Thank you very, very much for explaining that. So, Sandra also chipped in that PTSD is the effect of a traumatic event, and PTSD is failure to recover after experiencing or witnessing a terrifying event. Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense right now. Okay. So don't forget, guys, if you're live, you can always send in your questions, contributions in the comment section. If you have anything that you want us to clarify or you want our host, the host with the most, to explain on trauma, always feel free to send into the comment section. Okay, so oh wow, we've actually said a lot, and I've been writing down, and my book is full. I'm just going to probably start typing it now. And you were singing at some point. You said like music works for you, just like how I said journaling works for me as well. So for everyone, there is one of those coping skills that actually does wonders for you. All you need to do is identify them. Once you do, you trust me, you will just feel like nothing can happen to you. You can handle it because you always have something to fall back to. And then, see, getting your coping skills, the coping skills that work for you, is just amazing, right? And I would always say it's something to be like very, very grateful for. So just to do a quick recap, you spoke a lot about meditation. Oluwatosin Del said meditation helps her a lot and it works like really well for her. And okay, Sandra added a trauma event is time based, while PTSD is a longer term condition where one continues to have flashbacks and re experiencing the traumatic events. Okay, that's what we just talked about. And Oluwatosindel said again that when you have flashbacks of an abuse, does that also can that also be called as PTSD? Okay, so that's the question to you. So a flashback of probably an abuse, does that qualify as PTSD?
Sure. Once it's a flashback and you still feel the same way you feel when you had those experiences, sure, why not?
Okay,
It's called a post-traumatic stress disorder. Yes.
okay. So in all of this, I actually did not hear you say just part of the solutions of trauma being therapy. You didn't mention it. So was it intentional or you probably skipped it? Does therapy work? That's my question.
No, no. It works. It works. That was why I mentioned people seeing mental health professionals, because
Okay.
mostly when you see them, they will actually take you through therapy sessions. That's if you're ready. Some people just come for the first time for therapy. They just come to tell you what's going on, and when you tell them, "Look, you have to go through therapy sessions and all that," and they just
They run away.
so
Okay.
that's it.
So I think this is
Yeah,
going
they
to
run
be
the.
our second mission on this live. First it was attacking Lagosians, right? Now this one will be attacking Nigerians that don't think therapy works or that just wave away therapy. In my experience, I've seen a lot of people, especially on Twitter, on Instagram, people mention this is how much they paid for therapy, and there are a host of users that just come up. How would I be paying this so much just to talk with someone? If I want to talk with someone, I can just sit down and talk to my dog, and all of those things. So generally, there's this yes, exactly. So generally, there's this a notion that therapy, especially for Nigerians, we don't believe in therapy. We just feel, oh, it's waste of money. I'd rather use that money and buy myself pizza and I'll feel all right. I mean, how do we get this thinking out of Nigerians' heads?
If you ask me, now who I go ask?
Okay.
But I think with constant awareness, psychologists doing their thing and therapists doing their thing, we get to make people understand that therapy, because the notion Nigerians have is therapy is for mad people. That's the
Yeah,
notion they have.
exactly.
Psychologists, therapists, they are meant for mad people. So if we keep this doing this awareness of letting people know that therapy is for everybody, and the ways how it can actually help them, I think it will help. But still, you still find people, even when you're trying to tell them, no, it's not just for the mad people. It's for everybody. It's for different things, depression, anxiety. You can't convince them. You get.
Okay.
So
Yes. So
it's a gradual process, and I believe we'll get there. Definitely, we'll get there.
Amen. I say an amen to that. It's really tough. It's really tough, but like you said, it's a work in progress. And I just feel everyone that is actually aware about mental health and like very aware of their mental health, and every advocate for mental health should take it upon his or herself to sensitize, like to like tell people about it. Tell them therapy is okay. Welcome back, Ultima. Tell them therapy is okay.
Thank you.
Give them the pros. Give them the pros. Tell them it's okay to heal. It's okay to speak with people. It's all of our responsibility. I believe what is actually their issue is it's ignorance. They actually do not know. So a personal experience here. Um, Throughout my years of being an advocate for mental health, by years I mean only 2 years, please, before you feel like I'm doing something else. I had a therapy session. I like my first encounter, like my first time in therapy, and oh my god, I was like, wow, like it felt so good to actually like speak with someone and get everything off my chest. And this is coming from someone that is actually I'm very, very self-aware. So I can actually, I did not feel the need like I needed to do therapy. But when I got the opportunity, I jumped on it and I felt so good. And I was telling my therapist that if I have this opportunity again, I'm going to do it again. I would love to do this every month and every time of my life. And this was just my first experience with it, and it felt amazing. So, for me to like everyone else that is seeing this or reading this or going to watch this later, try therapy. Just try it. Try it. It's just like um the I'm from Cross River, by the way. When you've not eaten afang before, eat afang soup. You come back and give us testimony. That's the thought.
I'm telling you, you're actually right, Joseph. You're actually right. I remember when I actually went for a school of psychotherapy in Nigeria here. So I'm actually a trained therapist. So actually, after the whole training and everything, the person in charge actually said we should come for therapy, and we thought it was a joke because we thought, oh, why should I go for therapy? But when I actually went for therapy, I felt better. Like I didn't go there for anything, but I just went there to just have a talk. And with some
Exactly.
little kind of questions, found out that there were some things I was keeping to myself that I never told somebody that was actually bugging me inside. And once when I said it out, I felt better. So you might be out there watching us right now. This is just an information coming to you that therapy is for everybody. Like he said, just have a test, just once, just once,
Testimony.
and you'll see the difference. You will come out the next day radiating, because you've just let out a burden.
I am a testifier. You can see me waving. Oh my God. People will not understand. Anyway, so if you're listening to this and you've not done therapy before, I pity you. All right. So, like Ultima said, she's a trained therapist. So yeah, like her IG post is here. Just DM her. It's more chicken money. Trust me, you feel better. Just believe me, you feel good. So one other thing, I think we're actually wrapping up, and we're actually wrapping up actually. So, one other thing on the side that I wanted to ask Ultima. Ultima, do you sing?
Hmm. I sing for
Because
myself.
because because when I heard you say you were saying you wanted to bring up the an example of music, I started with the Celine I was like, oh, okay, okay.
I just love to
We
sing.
have
It's my
Celine
thing,
in the
anytime,
house.
any day.
Okay. So if I come
Aw.
if I come for therapy now with you, you listen for me.
I will now. Why not?
Ah,
Music is
that's
number one therapy. It's number one therapy. It's a food for the soul. I shouldn't be telling you this now. You just see.
and yeah, I like food. Food and music. Food for the soul. That's all. That is all. Okay. All right. So let me just give a brief rundown on what we have talked about so far. If you're just joining us, we're talking about trauma for people in Nigeria. PS, if you're in Lagos, run away. We've talked about how we can cope, especially as Nigerians, and how to tackle it, and how it's our duty as like mental health practitioners and mental health advocates to sensitize people and like tell more people about how therapy is important, how they should pay attention to their feelings, how they can speak up. There's always Psychebabble Foundation for you to come to for free mental health care. Okay, just fill up a form and you're good to go. There's always someone that will speak with you. So lean on your loved ones, be patient, and take your rest. Very, very important. Those are the things. Our time was Thelma, you're amazing. She also talked about a few the types of trauma, acute trauma, chronic trauma, and complex trauma. So if you missed any of this, do not worry. Now this our live stays on our profile, so you can always replay it at any given time. Okay, thank you so much, Altima. for your time and for agreeing to speak with us and for sharing with us. I enjoyed my session with you. This was like a therapy session. They don't know. They do not
I
know.
also did. Thank
They
you
do
for
not
having
know.
me, Psychebabble
Okay.
Foundation, and thank you, Josie, for having me too.
Yes, you're welcome. So, from you, our trained psychologist, to everyone else, what would you like to say? What's like, give us a vote of thanks. You have the floor.
Okay, I want to say a very, very big thank you to you, Joseph, and Psychofable NG. This is actually a wonderful outing. I really had fun, talking about trauma in Nigeria. What an interesting topic to actually discuss on at this point in time where we have a lot of things. If you know what I'm talking about, insecurity, unemployment, politics. Oh my God,
Mm,
politics.
don't
So,
say it too.
so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And let's do this again. I think the public
Oh,
need to hear more of this
of course we
often.
will. We will. So just from me, the next topic I'm proposing is Lagosians. I want to talk about Lagosians. I have a thing for Lagosians. Lagosians and Nigerians.
Leave Lagos
And
people alone.
and especially parents. I want us to attack parents as well. But just watch out. So, guys, just stay tuned to the Psychebabble page. We always pick a topic for the month to talk about. So last month we talked about suicide and suicide ideation. A month before we've spoken about a lot of things. The videos are always here for you to replay them. Today we talked about trauma, and our timer has blown us out of the waters. She has told us everything that we need to know. So if you want to know anything, just call me. This is your plug. Anyway, thank you so much, Otaima, for having for coming to join us in our discussion. Thank you, Oluwatosin, for
Mm,
staying from the beginning to the end, and also Sandy and Habe Salam that just
yeah.
joined. Then Akenda Bayo, I'm not sure I'm saying that correctly. Moet Oluwasayo, thank you for being here, guys. So we'll see you guys probably the same time next
Yeah.
month. It may be me, it may not be me. I may be talking about Lagosians, I might not. You won't know until then. Bye, guys. Have a lovely evening,
Bye.
our timer.
And you too, Josie. Take care.